This conference will now be recorded.
It's recording.
Town of Guide Grove Plan Commission will hold a public meeting on Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023, 7 p.m. at the Town Hall at 4058 County Road N. You can also join the meeting by GoToMeeting. We have a quorum present. The meeting was posted at the Town Hall and on the website. I call the meeting to order. You have the minutes of our January 25th meeting in your packet.
I did change, since the board saw it, Chris, I changed it to say items 2 through 4 instead of just 2 in the motion.
Oh,
As you said you thought that's what the plan commission said.
yeah.
Yeah, the bottom of things. You have it in here then.
I changed it to 2 to 4. Amber just had item 2. But when the board was talking about it, Chris said it should have been 2 to 4. All the items in Roffer's memo.
Yeah.
So with those changes, I move to approve the minutes as presented. Second.
Motion by Klinger, second by Anders to accept the minutes as presented. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Abstentions, motion carried. Public concerns, public's opportunity to speak to the Plan Commission about any subject that's not a specific agenda item.
You have one?
I got notice today from McFarland that they're having a hearing before their Plan Commission on March 21st at their community room in the municipal building regarding, let's see. To amend the Village of McFarland's comp plan to adopt and incorporate the 2023 East Side Plan as a component of their comprehensive plan, including the amendment of the comprehensive future land use map. So,
It's probably the area that they annexed from the town.
yeah, coming all the way out to there. So
It's on the east side though. That's the,
Oh, yeah.
that's the east side
yeah,
of
east
McFarland.
side, that's right.
If anybody's
I was standing
interested,
there.
Turn around.
face north.
Yeah.
All right. There's no other ones. We have David Cummings, applicant Cummings and Kirk Farms LLC, landowner, application for a conditional use permit to allow outdoor storage on parcel at 3436 North Star Road. See online?
No.
Hopefully it's not the ditch.
Well, we've talked about it
Right.
in the past, and now he's formally asking for the conditional use for outdoor storage.
Refresh my memory on this one. We talked about it before.
I'm just gonna put it up here.
We talked about it on the zoning.
Yeah, here, where he's gonna have his outdoor storage.
What's he gonna store there?
Electrical,
Stuff, steel and wood,
What's that?
wood and steel components, like walls.
he has highway lighting with it,
Yeah.
and he has trees that he would plant along to shield it. So here's his current building.
Oh.
And that's the area where we had talked about allowing.
In the middle of that intention, PVC conduit, steel, misspelling on steel, polymer junction boxes, light poles, steel and wood. Steel again.
Yeah. Stole.
STAL, steel. Store
Well,
it
maybe
like,
he's gonna
store it like you
maybe he's
stole
gonna
it.
steal everything he's gonna put in there.
Yeah, store it like you stole it.
Do we know what he's gonna put for screening other than trees, the word trees? This is what was in the draft from the minutes from the meeting. It was supposed to be a berm and then trees. That's what we had asked him. Oh, I'm looking, that's why I wasn't here.
Correct.
Right after my surgery.
Your
so-
surgery.
Okay.
Yeah, screened by the building from the roadside and trees planted for landscaping.
The would there be any reason not to give them the cup? Yeah. We're going to create a commotion with any other businesses that are to be coming. I think that was a question I had.
Yeah, I guess I don't foresee any at this point.
Is the cup permanent or can it be revoked?
CUP's good as long as he owns the,
Usually that's how they do it, but they do sometimes do them different, you know,
Yeah,
like sometimes they'll do them for a term of years, like the mining ones, for example,
yeah,
have to be looked at every so often.
Or if you have a complaint.
I don't know how many people will know. I don't think anybody besides Chris and myself, maybe you were on the plan commission. But remember on N, what's now Houston's, you know, they bought where they put that big detention pond in there? The company that was in there before.
Oh,
Iverson, yes. Anyway,
That
we
was neat.
required that they put in a berm and trees. And what they did was they put in a 2-foot berm and planted like 2 pine trees on each of the berm sections. And we weren't specific enough, even though it was a general conversation back and forth, you know, and they said, basically, too bad, so sad, you know, and we couldn't do anything about it. So that's always kind of stuck in my craw a little bit. So anytime anybody talks about a berm and screening, you know, it's got to be pretty specific, you know, to go ahead and make sure that, number one, the berm's a berm in the true sense of the word. And number two is that if you're going to plant a tree, it's nothing that's going to take 100 years to, you know, to grow up and cover it and stuff.
Do we have anything that says how high a berm has to be and what,
It's whatever we tell them.
I mean, we should have probably something
yeah,
already in writing that's
no,
standard, like so wide and so high.
we don't.
Probably a good idea, I think.
It will depend on the site.
Also depends what he's got storing in there. If he's got semi trailers, that's gonna be a little bit higher
That's true.
than telephone poles laying on the ground.
Right. You can put in how far apart you want the trees planted. Space, what the spacing would be.
Who's the arborist around here? Arborvitae is something that, I mean, they grow quickly and they do,
Yeah, they narrow.
but I don't know what their longevity is, so, I mean,
40 years is something.
Yeah,
Not real.
Yeah.
About 40 years in there.
I thought he was talking about pine trees.
yeah. That he had some
Yeah.
Some other
other
property.
location.
Yeah, some other property.
Some of the pine trees, some pines can grow right together, there's no problem. If they
Yeah.
grow together, they kill each other off. You know, like spruce, they just kill each other off when they get too close. White pines, they just break branches and everything. They don't. They're self pruning.
I don't know, is a 4 or 5 foot high berm unreasonable? And then the plantings on top of that?
That's not that bad,
Yeah,
I would think. I would think.
I think the berm that we
At
had,
least 5, if not more. And he said he had the soil for it, didn't he? He did have the soil to create the berm.
Yeah, because he can be,
Yeah.
the water, there's a, taken out, I think, for a retaining pond or something like that. He's taking that, he used that for the burn, how he said.
that berm that we had on Helverson's pit,
Oh, yeah.
you know, that's like, must be an 8-foot tall berm,
Yeah, and we didn't have any.
because you can't see over it from the driveway.
True.
It's about as high as that door going into the kitchen, isn't it? About 8 feet, pretty close. 7, that's about
Oh.
7, 8.
That's 7.
Yeah, that'd probably be more like it.
So you put in your motion a minimum
Mhm.
height for the berm if you want, and types of trees and what spacing you want.
I mean, if he's got pines, I mean, those are pretty fast growing too. I mean,
Right.
Yeah,
as opposed to an oak tree.
right.
Arborvitae really hide it well if you put them, if you space
Oh,
them.
yeah,
but
fill it
like
right
with-
in.
with
Yeah.
About 4 feet of each other.
Yeah, you can't see through those.
Right.
Well, he doesn't have to put trees necessarily on the peak of the berm. He can put them on the front and the backside and stagger them.
Right.
Yeah.
That way they don't grow together.
Zigzag.
Yes.
Landscape architect here.
Where?
You.
Lessons learned.
Yes.
Can mow around them easier too.
Well, you wouldn't even have to mow, you just mow the whole hill. Whatever.
That's true. That was the other thing. Remember over at Halverson's pit on the scraggly vegetation on that over
Oh.
there. So thanks for bringing that up. I mean, it's,
You want it mowed.
or something, yeah, at least, yeah.
Or prairie plants.
I knew I'd get a rise out of you.
Mow it at least twice a year.
Right, thistles?
And birds.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I
In
just,
your motion.
I mean, okay,
And if you want it to only be good for as long as the current owner owns it, or if you want it indefinite, or you want reviewed in 5 years, or whatever, you can do that.
part of me was thinking, you know, just a specified time, just to be able to check on, make sure the berm's working, the grass is where it's supposed to be, the trees are in place. And if it isn't, it kind of gives us a,
I thought you could always check on that with the conditional use.
We don't have any terms to yank it unless you put a time frame on
You can maybe put a term that says how soon after it goes active that those all have to be finished, and then you'd have something to go after, you know, you gotta meet this by 3 months or whatever. Yeah, I think once they meet it, then as long as they keep meeting it, there's not much you can do.
no, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of trees he had, because he said it were decent sized trees that he'd be able to put in.
I thought it was talking pine.
Yeah,
it. I did too.
probably is.
And there's no one online, so what action do you want to take, if any?
You're gonna have to go through those.
7
I think
or
there's
6?
actually 8, because some of it, well, that area is a farmland preservation.
That shouldn't be too hard.
He's got statements for each one, so.
Right. Pretty much filled out already.
So the establishment, maintenance, or operation of the conditional use will not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, comfort, or general welfare. His statement is the equipment and materials stored in the CUP area has zero hazards to the public health and well-being. Does everyone agree with that?
Because he doesn't have leaky transformers.
And
ECBs.
Yeah.
the uses, values, enjoyment of other property in the neighborhood for purposes already permitted shall be in no foreseeable manner substantially impaired or diminished by establishment, maintenance, or operation of the conditional use. He answered operation of CAT electric will not affect the surrounding properties in the area. The CUP area is screened by the building and trees from the North Star Road. Material be either be load by hand or a skid loader during the 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. hours of operation.
Is that 7 days a week?
I don't think it was.
No. Even if it is, it's in a commercial area.
Yeah, so, oh, yeah, that's true.
No
Well, do we-
problems with that?
Do we, okay, no. Let's raise
The establishment of the conditional use will not impede the normal and orderly development and improvement of the surrounding properties for use permitted in the district. No effect on the agricultural lands that surrounds the 17 acres owned by CAT, which is true in everything on both sides is planned for commercial.
Mhm.
So that should be all right. Adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, and other necessary site improvements have been or are being made to accommodate the conditional use. Driveway has been widened to our code. The CUP area has a break run based to erosion at a 0. And he was going to blacktop that till the crest of the hill, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was in the note.
So that's,
Paved just past the crest of the hill.
so that's all good then.
That doesn't really affect the CUP.
No. Adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide ingress and egress so designed as to minimize traffic congestion in the public streets. Driveway and parking lot, all the days operation with no impedance to local traffic. And I'll see that being a problem.
No.
Conditional use shall conform to all applicable regulations of the district in which it is located. They've implemented plans to go above and beyond what the county and the township require. Okay,
Whatever that means.
conditional use is consistent with adopted town and county comprehensive plans. True.
Yep.
If conditional use is located in farm, it's not in the farmland zoning district at all. So we're all good with that. So what, if any, action do you want to take?
I would move approval of the CUP request with the following conditions, and feel free to add more if you feel. Require a 7-foot berm.
Height,
Height,
not
correct.
width.
Yes, a 7-foot high berm.
You never know how they
No,
interpret it.
exactly. Nope, say thank you. All right, evergreens of sufficient size to provide effective screening of the stored items.
And density.
Well, I
In fact,
true, but I just
Yeah.
figured the word effective screening, would be, so,
If it's not effective, it's not good.
yeah. Effective screening of outdoor stored items. Probably just add that word outdoor in there. Berms and plantings to completed within how much after the approval of the CUP, 3 months?
Well, what does he get?
Well, I mean,
Give them 6. Because, I mean, if it's approved in March, they'd have all summer to get it done.
okay, 6, I'm okay with that. I just had a big question mark on my notes here. And then 6A to 6P hours of operation, is that what you read?
Yeah.
Every day.
As mentioned in the zoning,
What's that?
as mentioned in the zoning request.
The CUP request, you mean? Because I don't think there's anything, I couldn't find anything about hours in the zoning approval.
Really?
Or do you want to just do it Monday through Saturday?
I live in a commercial area and sometimes those guys have to get stuff ready for Monday on a Sunday, so.
Yeah. I
I'm sure
mean,
situations you can have it or whatever.
if you're in a commercial area 7 days a week,
Right.
Okay.
Shouldn't bother anybody.
I mean,
I
there's
I
one
don't have
house
a,
there.
I don't have an opinion one way or the other.
Still
It's
there.
a strong opinion,
And-
you know.
He's further
They got
north of
deliveries.
them.
The delivery will come in. Usually Monday through
I
Friday.
mean, if it was farmland, a farmer
We have a
could plant. any day of the week he wants.
State ordinance.
Yeah, 24/7.
Yeah.
No, it is
So,
construction.
Construction
Construction projects, but
That's,
Capital Underground, moving stuff around over there, aren't they, right? Nearby there,
yeah,
and across
just
the road,
north and across the road from them.
I mean, they're probably out there. You know,
And-
all these run-ins is skid steer anyways.
Yeah,
But loading semis or loading a lowboy, you might be making noise earlier or
Yeah,
later than that.
well, yeah, they probably make more noise than he
Yeah,
does.
right.
I can hear the pit from my place, so.
and everything else that's in your notes here from the previous, that was all part of the zoning approval, correct?
yeah.
Okay, so we don't need to repeat those. That's all I can think of. I mean,
Anybody have anything else to add?
mowing, do you want to say about mowing?
oh, thank you. Hey,
Goats,
that's why we're collective here.
Mow the berm
fence off the goats.
3 times a year.
Around there, that berm.
Oh,
Anybody got a quarter between, we'll flip it and see between 2 and 3. I don't,
2
Just
times
not let
usually
it
good
get
enough.
above a certain height or something? The grass, or, and how, what do you want, do you need to say anything about what it's seeded with?
Tall grass helps hide the stuff.
yeah, but you don't want box elder trees or some other,
I totally understand, yeah.
you know, actually, we should, Kim's got a good point. Not necessarily
Not necessarily good.
what goes on there, but the fact that there is something on there. You know, the berm shall contain vegetation to prevent any erosion.
Just be seeded to contain?
Yeah,
What if they wanted to put stone or something on that berm? I'm just saying, they may not want to mow it all the time, so they may want to put like, what do you call it, lava
I don't-
stone or whatever the heck, as long as they maintained it,
you get a heavy rain, it's gonna wash it away.
not the lava stuff, that's the biggest stuff, you know.
If he opposes, we could look at that again, correct? If he
Yeah.
had a plan.
Pardon?
If he had a plan, like, if you wanted to put some stone or something like that, we could relook at it. It wouldn't,
Yeah,
if he shows, well, he's gonna show up for the town board meeting, hopefully.
yeah,
because he could go up there and just fill it up full of wood chip too. The only thing was that you'd have to go in there and pull out all the noxious weeds or spray them.
yeah. You don't want Canadian thistles or bull thistles
So
or
do you just need to say something like
maintain.
measure Yeah,
Weed
measures
control.
or maintenance must to maintain or prevent erosion and prevent weeds. Something along those lines.
Mowing to, exactly, yeah, mowing for maintenance and preventing noxious weeds.
Okay,
And erosion. So
Yes,
and
so
erosion.
berms must be maintained to prevent erosion and noxious weeds, just
Yeah.
something as simple as that.
Planted two, you know,
Mhm.
prevent erosion and invasive species or whatever.
yeah, there's plenty of
Planted and mowed.
trees. I can't think of anything. Anybody?
The only thing that comes to mind before we close is Dale Munson, does that name ring a bell? Had a piece of property off, right
I know
across from
John
there.
Wilson, is any right relation?
And I don't know if it's related to John,
Okay.
but he had that piece of property on Jarville Road. It was right across from Maryland's. And he had a commercial business, it was Quality Pumps, I think it was, where he rebuilt pumps. And that place turned into regular dumping ground. So
Then it finally got bought by somebody else.
foreclosure, cleaned up, sold, and now the gentleman that lives there has cleaned it up even further.
Yeah, because we had sent county out on that several times for the jump.
Or where that windmill was?
Right
Yes,
there.
Oh,
He's
okay.
asking firemen about it.
Yeah, Frederick. So Mike, I just keep circle back to that when we talk about allowing them to store stuff outside. And do we want to have, and it's just me, have somebody or say, put a time frame to where we could pull the cup if he's starting to not comply with what we're asking. And if
Well, if he doesn't
If he was
comply,
wrong.
then it's a violation of the CUP
Right.
and it would be, and the county would have to deal with that.
yeah.
okay,
As long as you got conditions in there that are clearly being violated.
If he didn't plant the trees,
Yeah.
the county could come in and tell him, you know, you had 6 months to do it. You have to do it.
this goes back to what we were talking about, what we're storing, what he's storing there, not so much the berm or anything, but what he's storing. I mean, he mentioned, you know, like transformers or something like that, that would be leaking. Don't know, but it was just a thought. How do you
Well,
do?
do we?
Do you want to add that no hazardous?
No, because of the fact if he does store transformers there,
You know,
And I don't know that
Which-
he had.
He
Transformers.
said something. about
Zero
that.
hazardous material
right.
be stored on the site.
okay,
okay,
then we're done.
but some people say a creosoted power pole is a hazardous material too. So,
Okay.
but I'm not complaining about a creosoted pole.
I think all people want to choose.
Well, it's in writing, so we have something.
There's
yeah.
always somebody.
Go back.
Yeah. His written statement of intent and operations plan has that in there.
Do we make a motion or add that we refer to the applicant's, what'd you call it?
It's the written statement of intent and operations plan. Ken?
Not bad idea.
So how do you want to say that?
That the applicant follow his
Print getting smaller.
written statement of
Intent and operations plan.
So he's not using this paper.
as presented to the township.
Okay.
Anything else? Do we need to read the motion back?
No.
We
don't have much time.
Any other discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor
Oh,
signify.
wait, who seconded it?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think good.
You made it.
I think Troy said.
I'll second.
Second by Troy. Anders and Troy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Number 6. Newell and Anders for adjournment. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No one.
Shame on the second.